Once I get my base layer painted in, I am going to now start with fine details. I'm going to start right around here at the bottom. I have the basic green painted in. You can see here I started to add a little bit of color on top of that base color that I had. I'm just going to show you some tips on how to mix colors also. So for instance, I'm going to look at this area. There's like a tree here, and then there's a bunch of other colors going on. Majority of the time when you're painting, the color that comes out of the tube is not usually the right color. A lot of times people will take the paint out of the tube and just use that color. This is not one of these colors that came out of the tube. What I really need to do is try to mix this color. A lot of times you just kind of look at it and know that, okay, well, it's kind of a shade of green, but it's on the browner side of green. So I'm probably going to mix like a brown, a green, and I also feel as though there's like a yellow tone going on. So I'm going to start off with the lighter green first. I'm going to take some of that green. I'm going to add, I have a brown over here, but you can't see it in the camera. I'm going to mix a little bit of brown here. And I feel like it might be too brown, so I'm going to add a touch of yellow and see how that comes out. And sometimes what people have done in the past was they mix the color and then they'll just put it onto their picture to see how close they were. So that looks pretty good. Another thing that I might do is if I'm working on a small area here, I will mix a bunch of other colors that are going to go in that area. I already did that ahead of time, but I just wanted to show you how I did it. So I'm just going to start painting, and I'm going to try to get this next layer down and just try to follow what I see here. So I'm painting this area. It's got like this green, but as you can see, there are different tones and values and all sorts of things going on. Like in this area here, it's a little darker. So I had mixed a darker green. I added some black to my green. And I'm really just going to focus on just a section at a time. And everybody paints in different ways. I like to paint almost like the Impressionists, where I kind of dab the paint on. Some people will brush the paint on. I know it depends. I have a variety of brushes in front of me also, so I may switch brushes here and there. I feel like it's getting a little lighter, so I actually might even add a little white and see what that comes up with. Maybe a touch of yellow with it. Don't try to focus so much on like mixing the colors, because you'll find that if you're so fixated on trying to get that exact color, by the time you get it, your color is dried. So a lot of the times I even mix right on my canvas when I'm painting. And don't forget, you took a picture that was like a photograph. Now it changed colors here. Applied like this reddish or orangey brown color. You are going from most of you are going from an actual image, like a photograph that was taken. So it's sometimes very, very hard to make something look like the photograph because it's a photograph. So you're going to be painting that photograph that you're using. So it's going to look different to you. So focus mostly on like the color tones that you see, not the like actual reality of what's there. You're kind of representing the color where it changes, you know, with different values. As you can see what I'm doing right now, the paint sometimes comes up off the canvas and onto your brush, and it won't stick. So when I have that going on, what I tend to do is just continue on somewhere else, and then eventually I'm going to have to go back in and add a third layer. I feel like this was too orange. I had to tone it down. So what I ended up, I was taking a red. I took a red and a brown. It was too red, so I toned it down with a little bit of orange mixed in. There's a little darker green. I always have a paper towel in my hand at all times to, you know, wipe off my brush, or if I'm cleaning my brush, I always have that paper towel right there. Oops, just not dark enough. Sometimes you'll even notice that it will take probably one whole class period to just get one little section. And I have like so much color change over here that it's gonna take me a while. So I'm working now, and it's, you know, the first video that you saw, it was just me painting really fast, trying to get that base layer in. But now I'm at the point where I'm really focusing in on what colors I see, and I'm painting such a real small area. I feel like I just lost my space. When you have a lot of things going on, you'll notice that you lose your spot, which I just did. I'm right here now. Okay. So I will keep going, and I think in some of these areas, like the color isn't exact, so I may go, I think it is because, like I said before, the paint was like lifting up onto my brush instead of staying on the canvas, so I might go back in and do like another layer. So you may find that you even have 3 or 4 layers, depends on your picture. Okay, then down here, same type of thing. As you notice right here, I don't know if you can see, but I didn't really get into those little grooves enough paint the first time around when I painted. I just did it really fast, so you might find that that happens. You'll just end up putting another layer of paint. It's just easier. The reason why I always just put that first layer down is, first of all, it covers, it gets in those grooves, okay, the first time around. And see, it's the paint's coming off right there. It's coming. It's not staying on the canvas. And it will also be easier to paint the details since the first layer has already gone into those little grooves on the canvas. If you look at this part where the yellow is added, you don't want to just go and take some yellow and just plop it there. Okay, sometimes that looks unrealistic. So what I'll do is I'll take another little bit of green, and then I will apply some other colors with it, so it just kind of goes next to it and it mixes in itself. Tones it down a little bit so it looks more natural. Oops, I think I need to add more brown to that. Yellow. So what I mean is I'm not going to just like leave it there. I'm going to take my brush. I had applied some green, but I also applied some yellow and kind of maybe overlap them a little bit. There. Okay, looks a little bit more natural. Okay, so there is video 1 of details.